Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is some more footage taken from the release version of set 13 of Teamfight Tactics. This is the Arcane set. In this game, we're going to be looking at a Conqueror team composition. And this one's going to be another one of the times where you play Conquerors in the early game, try to get out in front of the lobby, and play a tempo board that just tries to win streak and keep getting additional loot drops. Now, we end up getting a Heimerdinger encounter. That means the first encounter is going to be prismatic. I don't like the fact that there's so many encounters that make the game into kind of a crazy loot fiesta. This one's actually not one of the worst ones, even though like we're actually at the point now where making the first augment prismatic is actually not one of the craziest loot results. But yeah, we were supposed to get 40% of the time. We were supposed to have 40% of the time get no encounter, get the encounter that was nothing happening. It was supposed to be 40% odds. That's what we were told before the set. And before the set even released, the developers changed it so that you would now get an encounter. The no encounter would happen only 10% of the time. So they dropped from 40% to 10% before the set even released, which was kind of frustrating. I was kind of like, oh, cool, 40% of the time we're just going to play like a normal game, no crazy stuff happening. But nope, that's down to 10% odds before the set even released. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess it's just Loot Fiesta again. Alrighty, so as far as this game goes, again, we know the first augment's going to be prismatic. I have kind of been handed a pretty strong Conqueror opener here, in the sense that I had a Rel drop right away. I've actually got a Rel pair. I had a Draven drop. I had a Darius drop. And in addition to that, I also have items that you would want if you were going to try win streaking with Conqueror's trait. So I already have a bow. And what further cements me going in this direction is then I get a rod. So I also have the items for Rageblade, which is one of Draven's core items. He's all auto attack based, and he stacks up attack speed as the fight goes on. Anyway, here is that prismatic augment. I'm looking at the different options here, and I don't really like most of these. I was like, all right, I guess I'll take Living Forge, which is just going to give me an item. I could have taken the one that just gives me a whole lot of money, and tried to like snowball the game economically. But if you're going to play Conquerors, you don't really want to go that route. So I see that there's this option here, Gambler's Blade, which is the one that gives you stacking attack speed, which is a good synergy with Draven. Every time they auto attack, there's a small chance to drop a gold coin. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to play this, I do want to have a board that's going to be strong in the early game. Now, I don't quite have that right now, but I'm reasonably close here. I have a Rel pair, I have a Draven pair, and I do have good items for Draven. So I was hoping that I could look to win some of the rounds off this. Now, here's the bad news. I see this person over here, Kitten, I think their name is. Yeah, they have a Conqueror crown, so they are going to be able to play 4 Conquerors right from the start of the game. And I was like, oof, that's definitely not what I want to see. So I'm going to be contested, and this person has the +1 Conquerors, which is really strong. Now, I definitely lose this round, but fortunately, it's double up mode. So Grillo is going to get over here just in the nick of time. And it turns out that he's actually going to be able to swing this round around. Again, it's close, but it looks like he has just enough to win this round, which is good in the sense that I don't lose the round. It's bad in the sense that the other player gets to kill another unit. He actually got 12 Conqueror stacks on the very first round of the game. I have 1 Conqueror stack, so I was like, oof. Not exactly what I want. All right, so what does Conqueror trait do? We're very early on in the set. I actually did do a Conqueror's video on the PBE, the public beta environment, but the set is actually out now, so let's cover what happens. Conqueror's trait is a snowballing trait. It is a play from ahead trait. So it does provide your team with an actual in-combat benefit. It gives AD and AP to Conqueror units. The deeper you play into the trait, the more AD and AP that they get. I believe that Conqueror 2, which is what I have in right now, I believe is it's either 15% or 16%. So either 15 or 16% AD and AP to your Conqueror's unit. That's kind of like the more straightforward, more basic aspect to the trait. The more interesting trait is it's also a stacking economic trait. So you can see I have the little banner over on the right-hand side where it says 4 out of 10. My past self is unhelpfully checking other boards right now, but yeah, that's where it is, the 4 out of 10 over there. every time you kill an enemy unit, you get stacks of this trait. And as you play deeper into the trait, you get more stacks. By the way, I also had 2 out of 3 Dariuses here. So, and Grillo was holding a Darius. So he asked me to hold, I asked him if he would send it. And then immediately after sending the Darius, he was like, oh shoot, I actually just had a Swain here as well. And Swain's noteworthy because he would allow me to get 4 Conqueror in play. So we were both like, we really should have spotted that, because I would definitely want to play 4 Conqueror. Again, the reason for that is I would get additional AD and AP. It looks like the benefit goes up from 16% to 25%. But the real benefit of going to 4 Conqueror is it increases the stacks for kills. Right now with 2 Conqueror in, I get 1 stack per kill. It's pretty straightforward. But if I get up to Conqueror 4, I would get 3 stacks per kill. So right now, instead of getting 1 stack for killing this Lux, I would get 3 stacks. So it stacks it up much, much faster. And each time that you hit one of the loot tiers, you get to open another chest, and it has various drops in them. So the first one's at 10 stacks. Again, the other Conqueror player who had 4 Conqueror in from the very first round of the game, they actually opened that treasure chest after the very first combat. It does only work on PvP rounds. It does not work on minion rounds. Killing minions does not give you stacks. Only killing enemy units gives you stacks. Now, I am last pick here, so I need to try to get something that's going to benefit me. It doesn't look like there's any AD items that are going to be useful for Draven here, so I will instead take Frontline, which will help me to snowball forward. And out of the options here, I decide that I will take the belt. Early Warmogs is always nice to have. I'm also planning on playing into Sentinel trait. I've got that Aurelia kind of standing on my bench that I'm planning on playing on level up here. So I'm definitely going to level here. I am on a win streak. And when you're playing Conqueror trait, you want to be win streaking, because if you're not killing units, you're not opening chests and you're not getting the benefit. So I'm going to level and play that. And that puts Sentinel trait in place. Sentinel gives armor and magic resistance. It actually gives a benefit to the whole team. And then the Sentinel units themselves get tripled the benefit. I think Sentinel 2 is like 15 armor and MR team wide. And then Sentinels get 12, excuse me. It looks like they've tweaked these numbers. 12 armor and MR to the whole team, and then the Sentinel units themselves get tripled, so they get 36 armor and magic resistance. So again, if they get armor and magic resistance from their trait, what do they want from items? Well, the biggest thing they'd want from items then is extra health, because that amplifies the value of having those resistances. So the Warmogs is actually quite good here, because as I said, it lets Rel survive a lot longer in these fights. Anyway, I'm going to get reinforced on, but the Grillo is also going to come over here. So we have the full-on 2v2, which is nice. And one other thing about the double-up rounds is it gives me a chance to get more kills. So Conqueror trait, I do think, is probably a little bit better in double-up than it is in the normal single-player game mode. So I actually get a little mini cash out there. And what is it? I got 2 gold dropping. Yeah, I think I got 2 gold dropping there, so that was pretty nice. Yeah, I think I actually got, wasn't I on 9 stacks? Did I get 9 kills in that round? I think I went from 9 stacks to 18 stacks in that one round. But anyway, the first drop is always 2 gold, which is, not a lot, but it does help accelerate your economy a little bit over there. I also have the champion send back up again, so I can send Grillo a unit. He is looking to play into Black Rose in this game. We are here on the release version. Black Rose was extremely overtuned, like stupidly overtuned here. It's pretty clearly the strongest trait in the release version, and he had a good setup for it. I was also able to send him a 2-star Morgana on the first round of the game. So yeah, I actually have all 1-star units except for Darius, so I probably shouldn't be win streaking, but this is the first day of the set's release. People maybe not building the strongest comps right here at the beginning of the set. And so far, I've been able to win streak. Now, I would have lost some of these rounds without assistance from Grillo coming over in 1 or 2 of these rounds. But still, it is a 2-player match. And the fact that I was able to help send him that 2-star Morg is part of the reason why he's win streaking. Also because he's playing Black Rose, which is really overpowered. I've also got a whole bunch of pairs on my bench, right? I have a Rel pair. I've had a Rel pair from the start of the game. I have a Draven pair. I've had a Draven pair since the start of the game. And I also have an Urgot pair. Urgot's on my board because he provides Pit Fighter trait, and he is providing that to Draven, who is my main carry right now. Pit Fighter trait gives the units, by the way, a lot of Twisted Fates here. TF in my store, and another one drops from the minion round. Bit of a shame I'm not playing through that. Actually getting a lot of Enforcers. I've been getting a lot of Camille's too. But Enforcer trait's not really what I'm looking for here. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make some kind of a sword item for Draven. He has a lot of attack speed now, so the next thing that he needs is additional. The next thing he needs is additional AD, so that he hits harder on all that attack speed. And Grillo was looking for a Blitzcrank, so I'm going to go ahead and send that over to him. And I think that that gets him close to 2-star Blitz. He's looking for Cassiopeia 3-star Blitzcrank 3-star over there. And because I'm on a full win streak and I am playing Conqueror trait and I want a win streak, there's a random Zoe in my store. So I'm going to go ahead and buy the Zoe. And I will play the Zoe and I will stuff this tier on her because she's going to get sold as soon as I can find a Swain. I'm hoping that I can find Swain because that will put 4 Conqueror in, and then I will get 3 stacks per kill instead of 1 stack per kill. As far as my initial Prismatic Augment, remember I get an Artifact Anvil after every 9 player combat, so I will get another one towards the end of this stage, and I'll have to find some kind of another item that I want there. But yeah, it looks like I was able to win that round. Pretty balanced approach. Zoe actually did do 1,200 damage in that fight, so she did help out a good bit there. And now we're going to get a chance for another augment here, and let's see. I definitely don't want Mana Flow. This is not a spellcasting comp. Pitfighter Crest, I could look to lean into the Pitfighter route, but instead I just opt to take this one. It's going to give me another sword, and it's going to give all my units a little bit of extra AD. I don't think that this is one of the better gold augments, but I do think that my chance to play it here is a pretty good one. All right, so the champion send has cooled down, so Grillo is able to send me the Swain. I have not found Swain myself, but he's able to find one for me. And so I'm going to go ahead and play that, and that will get 4 Conquer in. I mean, it would have been nice to have that in, like, 5 rounds earlier? But it's still pretty early to have the 4 Conqueror in, so that feels pretty good here. I'm also going to move my tank items over to this Loris, I believe the unit's name is. He is one of the... And by the way, I'm really seeing Sentinel units in this game, aren't I? I'm seeing more Sentinel units than Conqueror units. But anyway, I'm going to see the Loris here, and he is a 3-cost Sentinel. He's a very good tank. He basically does no damage at all, but he's a very good tank. And so I'm just going to look to play through this unit here. I'm actually up against the other Conqueror player. Again, this person's had 4 Conqueror in from the start of the game, but they don't actually have that many stacks. They're at 60, and I am at 39. And that's in part because the only way you get stacks is if you get kills. So even though they've had the 4 Conqueror in from the first round of the game, and I only just got it in this round, I'm actually catching up to them pretty fast because, again, this is a win-streaking trait. If you're losing rounds and you're not killing things, the trait doesn't really do anything. So they actually have not been as strong as they probably should have been. I do get the 35 stack cash out, and what does it do? It gives me 3 Camille's. The second cash out for Conqueror always gives you a 2-star 2-cost. 2-star 2-cost. Would have preferred that had been like Urgot. That would have been more useful, but I get to sell it for 5 gold, so that's not terrible. So the first cash out gave me 2 gold. The second cash out effectively gave me 5 gold. Grillo has also found an Ambessa for me, which is going to be great. He's just going to hold that unit and send it to me at the start of stage 4. Ambessa is the 4-cost Conqueror unit. And I'm going to look to try to play around her. Now that I know that I'm going to have that unit coming from Grillo, I can definitely look to play around that unit. And that's going to be a big spike for my board because I have not found Dravens. I'm still on 1-star Draven. Usually you play through Draven in the early game and then you kind of shift into Ambessa later on if you're playing Conquerors. But I still have 1-star Draven. So I'm clearly not going to 3-star Draven in this game. As I did the one other time I played this on PvE, I was able to get a 3-star Draven. But clearly I'm not hitting the Dravens in this game. So between not hitting the Dravens, not hitting the Dariuses, I have 2-star Darius, but like I'm clearly not remotely close to 3-starring either of these units. It's pretty clear I want to rush to try to fast 9 this game. Use the Gambler's Blade, try to rush to fast level 9. We're in really good shape on health. We don't really have to worry about that. But like get to fast level 9. Play Ambessa, play Mordekaiser, who's the 5-cost Conqueror unit, and just play a bunch of 4 and 5-cost units and play around that. I think that's definitely the best way I can approach this. Alrighty, so I'm last pick on the carousel. There's not a ton that I want here, so I was like, all right, I'll just take the Swain. Fine with me. Let's just play Swain for right now. This is also going to give me a cloak, and I can take the sword and the cloak and combine them together into a Bloodthirster, which is going to be a very good item on Ambessa, who is, of course, the unit I'm playing towards. Conqueror, in terms of its trait tiers, it is more... And I just go ahead and make the Bloodthirster right now on Draven. It's not a good Draven item, but it's going to be good on Ambessa later on. So, like, why not just make the item right now? I might as well just go ahead and do that. And then I can go ahead and level and play units. So it's like, all right, I'll just put in this Ezreal. It's going to give me a little bit of extra damage. I want to keep leveling because I want to keep win streaking with this trait. So again, it's a trait where you want to play from ahead. So it's very important that you can do that. Get out in front of the rest of the lobby pace. Also, once again, look at my bench. I have 4 pairs on my bench. I have a Draven pair. I have a Loris pair. I have an Urgot pair. And now I also have a Swain pair. So I'm not exactly high rolling in this game, but I've still been able to win these rounds anyway, in part because I think some of the other boards are not built especially well. Also in part because Grillo is playing Black Rose. He has a Black Rose emblem from one of his augments. He was able to get a Black Rose emblem. Maybe it was his second augment. And Black Rose is super overtuned. So even if my board is not that strong, I'm counting on his board to be very, very strong and to be able to come over and help me win these rounds. So anyway, it looks like I'm going to win the round. I'm also hit the next cash out, but then I get reinforced on, which is great. I get a chance to kill more units. I'm not exactly going to lose because Grillo's here. And, the Bloodthirster shield even triggered on Draven. So Bloodthirster actually did something that round. But let's see what we get on this cash out here. Oh, and this is a big hit. So this one gives you a 4-cost unit. And I actually get the best possible one. I get an Ambessa here. So now I don't even have to wait for Grillo to send that over to me. Now I just get the Ambessa straight up right now. I also took a Thief's Glove from the double up gift round, which I'll go ahead. I was like, I'll put it on the rel for right now. And now I get the chance to pick my second artifact item. That's from my Prismatic at the very beginning of the game. And I'm looking at the different options here. And I was like, I think it's this Prowler's Claw. This is going to be great on Ambessa. So I'm not super familiar with what this item actually does, but it is an item that's used on like melee AD units. Let me look up the actual stats on this because I honestly don't know. I'll go ahead and check this out and see what this item actually does. But having the early Ambessa is fantastic, and that was a high roll moment there because it was literally the 4-cost unit I most wanted to have. Getting the 4-cost Conqueror unit was definitely a big plus for me right there. All right, let's see. Where is the Prowler's Claw? Let's see. Prowler's Claw. Here it is. After killing a target, shed negative effects and dash to the furthest target within 4 hexes. The next 2 crits deal bonus 60% critical strike damage. Also has very high base stance, 40% AD, 50% crit chance, 20% health. So with this, you could argue that maybe Hand of Justice would be a little bit better than the Bloodthirster to play into that crit chance. But I actually made the Bloodthirster before I knew I was going to get this. Still, it's it's when you kill items, it's kind of a snowballing item. When you kill units, shed all negative effects, dash to the farthest target, and your next 2 crits deal bonus critical strike damage. Anyway, it's just a good item on melee ADs overall. This also gets me to 5 Conquerors, so if I can find a Mordekaiser, then that would allow me to play 6 Conquerors, which would be great. Here's what's not so great. These items that have popped out are pretty awful. 2 tears, 2 rods. I was like, yeah, this is a team comp that does physical damage. It really does not want this. So I was like, boy, what in the world do I do with this? Here's the other Ambessa coming over from Grillo over there. So I was like, you know what I think I can do here? I can put Quick Striker trait in for Ambessa. She has 3 traits: Conqueror, Quick Striker, and Emissary. I'm gonna move the Bloodthirster over to her. I almost put the item on Draven, and I just take this cheap duplicator that I have gotten. I think that was one of my other rewards out of the... I think that was one of the rewards when I hit the 100 stacks for Conqueror trait. I got a cheap duplicator. I was like, you know what? I'm not hitting Draven. Let's just 2-star the Draven. I think that's more useful than anything else. I'm not trying to 3-star anything. Let's just finally get 2-star Draven. And I'll put this on him and go from there. But yeah, I decided I would put Quick Striker trait in play so I could actually use that on Ambessa. I'm like, this is my clear carry. It's not going to be Draven because he's like, I'm not close to 3-starring. I'm going to put Quick Striker trait in play and just go from there. Now we also have our last augment. It's also prismatic. Well, it's definitely not, it's not Sentinel Crown. It's not Belt Overflow. I was like, maybe Bronze for Life, but then I see Conqueror Crown. And I was like, yes, Conqueror Emblem. Let's go. This is perfect for me because now I can play 6 Conqueror without having to find Mordekaiser, who's the 5 cost. So I'm going to put in the TF, and I was like, all right, you know what, TF, you're not really a great unit. You don't really fit this comp that well. I'm going to put this on you. I'll put the Last Whisper on Draven because I do need some armor shred. Most of this comp is physical damage. And you know what? Let's just put items on you. I'll put a Spear of Shojin and a Death Cap on you with the intention that these items will probably go to Mordekaiser later on. And I'm just trying to roll to see if I can hit Ambessa too right now. I'm also going to play Vi over the Urgot. That's a clear upgrade. So I'm just looking for one more Ambessa, and I'm also going to I'm trying to grab Blitzcranks and Cassiopeias for Grillo because he's trying to 3-star both of them. I was like, all right, I have a 2-star Blitzcrank to send the next time that's going to be up. But yeah, TF doesn't really fit my board that well. It's just he gives Quicksilver trait to Quick Striker trait, not Quicksilver, gives Quick Striker to the Ambessa. So I'll go ahead and grab that. And hey, now that I have Conqueror 6 in, I actually get 6 stacks every time I kill a unit. So I'm going to be stacking up this Conqueror thing very, very, very fast. And some of the late game cash outs are quite nice. So like there's another cash out. I get a component and I also get a Reforger. So I go ahead and make a Titan's Resolve, and I'm just going to slap that on the Ambessa right away because Ambessa is clearly my carry. And now I'd like to roll to see if I can hit one more Ambessa, and that would be really nice if I could. So we don't need Urgot. I can actually sell the Urgot that's on my bench, and boom. Well, there we go. We have 2-star Ambessa on 4-3 and a 6 Conqueror board. That seems pretty good. That seems rather good. I will be content to take that unit. And now we are definitely going to be playing through the Ambessa, and she is going to be our clear carry going forward because I have a 2-star 4-cost very early on in the game, and she should be doing an awful lot of work. I'll go through what her ability does. It's a rather complicated ability, but she's basically just melee AD, so she wants all the items that melee AD units always want. Bloodthirster, Sterix, Titan's Resolve, Quicksilver Sash, although the Prowler's Claw gives her kind of like a mini Quicksilver Sash, so I don't think I necessarily need to play into that. And I'm just going to activate all her traits. I have activated her Emissary trait. She kind of gets that naturally as long as you don't play her with the other emissaries. And Quick Striker, and of course Conqueror, which is the main trait we're playing through. All right, now there's already a team down at 1 HP. Grillo and I still have not lost a round yet. We're still on 100 HP here. That means we're going to be the last pick on the carousel, but I'm just content to try to find something useful here. And let's see, is there anything that I really want that badly? I was like, all right, you know what? I think I just want more frontline stuff because I really am lacking in frontline. So I'll just go ahead and take this vest. I did hit the 2-star Loris. So with 2-star Loris, the 6 Conquerors, and the 2-star Ambessa, I feel very comfortable going to level 9. Oh, and look at this. I even hit a 2-star Swain as well. And then, okay, that cash out from the this was like the 5th or 6th cash out from Conqueror trait. It gave me a 5-cost and a 4-cost, and the 5-cost was Mordekaiser. So my very first cash out that gave me a 4-cost gave me an Ambessa, and my very first cash out that gave me a 5-cost gave me a Mordekaiser. So I'm definitely getting lucky in that regard. I also have 86 gold here, so I can get to level 9 very quickly. I'll just go level 9 after the minion round. But between Draven having the Gambler's Blade and me getting so many cash outs this quickly, this is kind of like the perfect Conqueror game. I am way out in front of the pace of the lobby. I'm actually up against the other player who has a Conqueror emblem. Remember this person who had 4 Conqueror in from the start of the game? Well, they're only on 180 stacks. I'm on 291 stacks. And again, it's just because I'm winning rounds. They apparently opted to put the Conqueror emblem on Vlad and then tried to 3-star the Vlad. I don't think that that's the way I would suggest playing it. That just didn't really work out at all. So we have eclipsed that board by a country mile, and we are just way out in front of the pace of this lobby. All right, now it's time for the anomaly. I want something that's going to be good on Ambessa, and this one seems pretty decent. Gain 1,000 health and grow greatly in size. Is this the best choice? Probably not, but I actually thought it would be pretty hilarious to just have this gigantic unit running around. I don't think it's terrible, but I do think there are probably better options. I also find a LeBlanc in the shop, so I'm going to send that over to Grillo, and that's going to allow him to play 5 Black Rose. 5 Black Rose is extremely overpowered in this release patch for set 13. And we're just kind of cruising. So he hits 2-star Cassiopeia, and there's 3-star Cassiopeia. So he now has 3-star Blitz and 3-star Cassiopeia, and he has 5 Black Rose in as well. 5 Black Rose gives you the super strong Scion. And yeah, we're both feeling pretty strong here. I would like to 2-star Mordekaiser and 2-star the Ilaoi up on the front line because I did give Ilaoi my tank items. I probably should have stuck with the Loris a little bit longer because I did have 2-star Loris, and 2-star Loris is definitely better than 1-star Ilaoi. But I was just trying to kind of simplify things. It is the beginning of the set. I'm trying to keep things relatively simple. But we're just going to go level 9. It can clearly go level 9 after the minion round and have a lot of gold to roll with. Try to find 2-star Mordekaiser and maybe try to find either 2-star Vi or replace Vi with Savika, who's the 5-cost pit fighter, and just go from there. Maybe play other 5 costs. We'll see. I can probably put the Conqueror emblem on somebody better than the Twisted Fate. He's just in there to give quick striker trait right now. But yeah, we're just kind of destroying this lobby right now. Both of us kind of getting way out in front of the rest of the lobby and just pacing from there. And then this cash out gives me a 2-star 5 cost. This is one of the stronger cash outs. I think this is like the 325 cash out. So I was like, okay, I'm going to play the Jace. I'm definitely going to play this guy. He's a 2-star 5 cost. Definitely think I can use that. He'll also even put Form Swapper trait in play. Oftentimes people will play Gangplank on this board when you're playing Conquerors. He's also a Form Swapper, and he has some good synergy with some of the traits, but like, why play Gangplank? I'll just play Jace. He's a freaking 5-cost unit over here, so why not? And then I'm also going to play Mundo as well, because Mundo is a pretty good frontliner. I'm not going to have his experimental trait in, but he'll put Dominator trait in for Mordekaiser, which is nice. So yeah, let's go ahead. We'll put the Conqueror emblem on Jace. Move these AP items over to Mord. They're not quite the right fit for Mordekaiser, and then I'll replace the Vi with Savika. So I'm just doing like the standard thing. And oh, by the way, that's a misclick there. I thought I clicked on the Alawi. Apparently I didn't quite click on it, and I don't know exactly how that happened, but apparently I just barely missed this. But there's another Mordekaiser, so that's not bad. And I'll stop there on 30 gold because I'm out of time to roll. But I can definitely get another item here. I was like, okay, maybe I should have taken the glove and just made a Thief's Glove here. I don't think that would have been terrible, but my whole board is mostly doing physical damage. I actually thought doing another Last Whisper would not be terrible. And yes, I'm aware I already have a Last Whisper on the Draven, but I don't think it's terrible having another person armor shredding, because my team is very heavy on physical damage. All right, now I'm up against a Cog player, Cog reroll, and Cog reroll is very overtuned. I definitely would have lost this round, but Grillo does manage to get over here quickly, and that together, the two of us, is going to be enough to win this round. So thank you to Grillo. The win streak stays intact. That's clearly the strongest board in the lobby. And then, oh, look at this gift round. I can send Grillo a Tactician's Crown or a Radiant item. It's expensive to do so, but I have the money to afford it. So I was like, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Why not? And he said he preferred the Tactician's Crown over the Radiant item. It is a random Radiant item. You don't get to pick it. So he could have gotten like a Radiant Deathblade or something that would not fit his AP board at all. Anyway, there's a 2-star Mundo, so that's pretty good. I wanted to move the Thief's Glove over to the Mundo. So I figured, you know what, I can sell and replace the Vi. I did have an item remover, so I probably should have just used the item remover here instead. I'm not exactly sure why I did the sell and replace. I think I forgot that I had the item remover. But we're going to move this Thief's Glove over to Mundo, and that definitely beefs up my tank line pretty well. So now I'm on Savika pair, Mordekaiser pair, Alawi pair, and if I can just hit those units, I'll be feeling pretty nice. I'm also getting close to another cash out here on the Dominator, or the Conqueror stacks right there. Remember, I'm getting 6 stacks every time I kill an enemy unit. So this is going to put me at 429 out of 440. So it looks like it's going to take one more round to hit that cash out there. Again, remember the last cash out was, what, a 2-star 5 cost? So the next cash out's going to be even better. I've just really gotten far out in front of all these cash outs. I can't remember what the next one is, but I think I'm getting to the realm of where you just start getting like Tactician's Crowns and stuff like that. All right, this is the other half of the gift round for double up. So there is the Savika 2-star. And Grillo had a couple different options, and one of them was a champion duplicator. So I was like, why not just give me the champion duplicator? And I'll just duplicate the Mordekaiser for a Mordekaiser 2-star. That seems pretty good. So I've pretty much 2-starred just about everything. I just need the Alawi now. And, you know, I have 2-star Ambessa. I have 2-star Mundo. I have 2-star Savika. I have 2-star Jace. 2-star Mordekaiser. So like that's a lot of 4 and 5 cost units that have been 2-starred on this board. This is really a textbook example of what you'd want a Conqueror build to look like. You play tempo, your board is strong early, you get out in front of the pace of the lobby, and then you just kind of use the loot that you're getting to run over everybody. So who am I up against in this final match? Well, I'm actually up against the other Conqueror player. Remember the person who got a Conqueror emblem from the start of the game? But they're at 250 stacks. I am at 429 stacks. I have just outpaced them enormously. So even though they had the better augment to start the game, I was able to build the better team composition. And yeah, I have tons and tons of stacks here. I'm actually getting close to the next cash out. But for better or for worse, we're not going to see that because this is actually the end of the game. This is a very short game. We played 18 rounds and we won 18 rounds. Again, with a lot of help from Grillo. I think there were about 3 or 4 rounds I would have lost without his board coming over. But nonetheless, this is still a clean sweep. This is the Mr. 100 game. In double up, it is easier to get this in double up, certainly, than in the 2-player mode, or than in the solo game mode, but still, we'll take it. And even though this wasn't like a close game, this was an absolute one-sided stomp, I did think it was kind of a perfect tempo game for Conqueror, so I thought it might be valuable for people to see this. Anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, hope everybody's having a great week. Take care, folks, and I'll see you again soon.